For the other teams, the situation was dire. They couldn't defeat the flesh golem and giant zombies, and were ultimately destroyed by the giant zombie. The third tower failed the bonus quest, and soon, all towers failed except for Jihan's tower. Jihan and his team emerged victorious, having completed the quest. Jihan received triple the experience points and GP. He then asked Diego to meet outside the game to discuss Diego's abilities. Diego was surprised but eager to know what Jihan had to say. Jihan hinted at something important about mages and suggested that it wasn't safe to talk in-game. Diego agreed to meet outside, intrigued by Jihan's strength and curious about his advice. He was also thinking about his class and wanted to find a suitable role, so he looked forward to discussing this with Jihan. The golden streamer, impressed by Jihan, asked to join him, but Jihan declined. However, the streamer was determined to become Jihan's solid partner and editor. Despite his persistence, Jihan still refused and exited the game, leaving the streamer and Diego behind. At the Sword Palace, Jihan checked his reward message. He had cleared the chain quest, Zombie's Source 2, and earned 10k GP and a crystal fragment. He was pleased with the substantial reward, recognizing the difficulty of the quest. However, upon examining the crystal fragment, he felt disappointed. The fragment granted a single-use divine blessing, something typically used by the Apex support class, the Saints. This blessing was one of the best buffs, increasing all stats by 50%, and was essential in the highest leagues. But for Jihan, he could only use it once and only in bronze or silver leagues, which was underwhelming. On the bright side, finishing first had increased his GP and experience by an additional 50%, which was a significant boost. Jihan exited the game, feeling a mix of satisfaction and disappointment, and looked forward to his upcoming meeting with Diego. They would discuss strategies and abilities, paving the way for even greater achievements in the future. Jihan had reached level 13, with his martial power and force now at 17. He knew there were 12 levels left until he could participate in the silver promotion match. Suddenly, his sword began to react, indicating an increase in divine power by 1. This divine power was integrated into his force, but his stats didn't increase proportionally, revealing that divine power and force were not in a 1-to-1 ratio. Then, his otherworldly relic sword, unable to contain the remaining power, shattered. The explosion of the 3 elixir fields within the sword sent shards flying, and Jihan's shoulder was injured by the fragments. He tried to reabsorb the power, but the entire room lit up intensely. Meanwhile, in another building nearby, Takada, from Japan's Self-Defense Force Agency, was watching Jihan play while eating chicken. Takada had requested the Fire Mage to destroy the crystal and stop Jihan, pretending to be a member of the Sword King fan club. However, stopping Jihan was proving to be much harder than expected. Takada's failure to halt Jihan's progress frustrated him, especially after the Fire Mage failed the quest. Despite his anger, Takada saw Jihan's potential and wanted to recruit him due to his impressive skills. However, Takada's superiors demanded clear evidence before making a move, specifically wanting Jihan's status window to support Takada's claims. Time was running out for Takada, and he realized he needed a more sophisticated strategy. If he could obtain Jihan's status window and get approval from his company, Takada planned to recruit Jihan using their special method known as beauty.